I'm Richard from The Mortgage Hub, and we are your buy-to-let mortgage experts. Welcome to our YouTube channel. And in this video, I want to talk about non-standard construction properties. Why should you care? Well, I'm going to explain why you should absolutely care, because it could cost you time and money if you don't understand the difference. However, just before I get into that, if you haven't already, do click the subscribe button. It just means that we, as a company, will notify you whenever we drop any content. So you don't have to be jumping on YouTube every now and again just to see if anything's changed. You'll get that notification in your inbox, and therefore you can then just jump on the channel and watch the content at your leisure. Right, so let's go on to the sexy topic of non-standard construction properties. Why should you care? Why do you need to know? Well, because if you inadvertently purchase a non-standard construction property and you don't know the difference and no one's told you, then it may well come out further down the line once your application's in. So it's going to cost you time and money if you don't know. And look, us as brokers, we're not experts, we're not surveyors. So if we don't pick that up either, then we may go to the wrong lender, because with non-standard construction properties, the number of lenders starts to diminish, and lenders will cherry pick the sorts of properties they want to lend on when it comes to non-standard construction. So it may be that we've wasted time, you've wasted the broker's time, you've wasted survey fees, you've wasted the seller's time, and it could put that property in jeopardy if only after the survey does it become clear that it's a non-standard construction property. Maybe we have gone to the wrong lender, we've got to start from scratch, we've wasted 2-3 weeks, and all of a sudden we're on the back foot. So that is why it's imperative you start to think, could this property be non-standard construction? The easiest way of asking is speak to the estate agent. How is that property built? What's it made of? Now, in very simplistic terms, I'm not trying to, I could be oversimplifying it here, but if it's made of brick or stone with a tile or slate roof, usually that is standard construction. That's a normal way of building a property, but as it's got some examples here, flat roofs could still be brick or stone. So this is an exception, but would be seen as non-standard. Thatched, obviously, that is something that is unusual. Is it a timber frame property? You wouldn't know if it's timber frame because you physically can't see that. So unless you're asking those questions to the agent, it's not going to be known until, as I say, later down the line when you've got a valuation or a survey. Now, in my experience as a broker of the last 25 years, when we get presented with a property that ultimately is a non-standard construction, really by a country mile, the category that stands out as being classed as non-standard are ex-local authority properties. And of course, we've got, I don't know, we even got millions of them. We've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of those in the UK. So, of course, they come across our desk, and you as landlords will be looking at those from time to time and maybe looking at picking up a bargain. So it's particularly those that are concrete clad. So, again, it's really obvious to the eye where those ex-local authority properties are essentially a concrete-cladded property. That likely means that it's steel framed underneath. Now, I, as a landlord, I've bought those properties before. I've got experience as a landlord, as well as multiple times buying these properties and, with my broker hat on. And so the issue can be there is what wasn't known back in the 60s and the 70s is that the concrete can, depending on the construction type, rot the steel frame. So lenders, of course, now are well aware of this, and they will, without exception, ask you as the landlord to organise a survey. And what you can see at the bottom is called a PRC, a pre-reinforced concrete report, to check on the any degradation of the steel frame. And the way essentially it's done is a visual inspection. So you've got to get the owner's permission to essentially have the surveyor drill a hole through the concrete, stick a sort of tubing with a camera on the end, and actually have a look at those steel frames to see if there's been any corrosion. Now, if there hasn't, great, you'll get that positive report and you can go on with your purchase. However, if there's any issues, it's going to come to a standstill because you as the buyer can't organize that remedial work. The lender isn't going to lend any money until that remedial work's done. So the onus goes back on the current owner to either sell it dirt cheap because there's going to be fewer buyers. And again, you're then likely to maybe go into cash purchases or bridging. Or does the owner go to the expense of actually getting that work done themselves and then they can charge more of a market value? That's a completely different conversation to be had. But you, as the buyer, need to more generically understand about these non-standard construction properties. And I think, like I say, the most common type being ex-local authority properties. So again, if you're buying a property that you think might be non-standard, even if you're unsure, you flag it up with the broker. We can start to look into it more. If we're the broker involved, we could speak to the agent and start to delve into what type of construction type it is. And then when we're doing our research, we ensure we get it right first time. So look, if that resonates with you, if you're looking at properties right now where you're a little unsure about the construction type, then click on the link below in the comment section, have a chat with the team, send us a link to the property. We'll have a look at it ourselves and let's see if we can do some digging between us to understand exactly how that property is being constructed. And therefore we go to the right lender, get the most competitive rates and get you that property you want. Or you walk away and you've saved time and money. Either way, it's a win-win. But you really need to understand about non-standard construction properties. Hope that's been useful to you, and I'll see you on the next video.